Hello, you are listening to the Pleasant Spirit Podcast with your hosts, legally blind licensed massage therapists, Kyle and Kelsey Pleasant. On this show, we talk about the messy, beautiful process of living a more intentional life. Whether you're into self-care, soul care, or just trying to stay sane in a noisy world, you're in the right place. Now take a deep breath, and let's begin.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Pleasant Spirit Podcast. It's Kelsey here, as always, joined by my favorite hiking partner, massage therapist, and, husband. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Kelsey. Hey, everyone. You are definitely my favorite co-host and adventure buddy. I mean, we've explored all sorts of things on this podcast. Kindness, joy, how to stay grounded when life throws us curveballs. But today, we're taking it inside, like literally inside your brain. We're talking about neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity. I love that word. It sounds like something you'd make up if you were creating a superhero, maybe someone who could change their mind. But honestly, that's kind of what it is, right? Our brains aren't stuck. They're more like, okay, I was going to say Play-Doh, but I know that's not exactly scientific.
Actually, that's a pretty good analogy, although maybe Play-Doh that firms up over time. But yeah, it's basically the brain's ability to change and rewire itself based on what we do, think, and experience. And this is not just some woo-woo positive vibes kind of thing. This is hard science. Folks like Dr. Michael Merzenich and Dr. Norman Doidge have done a lot of work showing exactly how experiences, even our thoughts, can physically change the neural pathways in our brains.
This is such a game changer, right? I always used to think that if I was bad at math or anxious or super impatient, that was just me for life. But now we know that's not true. Your brain is rewiring itself all the time when you're learning a new skill, or even just noticing your thoughts. Even the fact that I can still learn new crochet patterns after all these years, that's neuroplasticity.
Definitely. It's what makes healing and growth possible, even when it feels slow. And, in my massage work, I've noticed something interesting. The more I consciously practice being present, staying with my hands, with the breath, really tuning in, the more my intuition kind of lights up. It's almost like I've built a new pathway for awareness over time. And I don't think I would have noticed that before, but knowing about neuroplasticity, it really makes sense. You keep coming back to these mindful moments and suddenly you're different, or maybe more truly yourself.
I love that. It actually ties into what we talked about in the last episode about our true essence being that awareness underneath all the stuff that's happened to us. But the science here is saying, yeah, you can actually lean into that awareness and sort of reshape your own brain. Mind blown.
Totally. And that's just the start. How about we talk next about what happens when you start directing those thoughts with intention?
Ooh, yes, let's go there. The neatest thing about neuroplasticity to me is how it's not just about recovering from something big, people overcoming strokes or phobias, which is amazing, but also the everyday micro stuff, like changing the way you talk to yourself. Did you read some of those studies where folks repeated positive affirmations or practiced mindfulness daily, and after several weeks, they measured changes in their brains? Less stress, more calm, actual physical changes?
Yeah, it's wild. The research basically says every time you focus your attention, you're reinforcing that neural pathway. So if you constantly think, I'm not good enough, you're literally strengthening that circuit. But if you start shifting to, say, I can figure this out, or I'm grateful for this moment, you build a completely different connection. Over time, that becomes your default, not your old story. It's kind of what we touched on back in our episode about appreciation. Those little habits aren't just feel good fluff. They're actually rewiring your brain.
Can I tell a little story here? Because, this is super personal for me. After I lost a lot of my vision, and Kyle, you remember this obviously, I went through a really funky phase where my self-talk was just not cute. I'd always say, well, obviously I can't do this. Or, why is this so hard for me? And after a while, I heard myself, and I don't even know why. Started trying to sprinkle in one kind thing each morning. Sometimes it was literally just, I'm proud I got out of bed today. Or, well, at least Chloe's dressed.
It makes a big difference, huh? Even in small ways.
Huge. It was like my whole day shifted. Then it turned into keeping a gratitude list. And seriously, over a few months, it was like my mind got new glasses. Wow, that's a terrible metaphor considering, but you get it. I may not see better, but I feel better.
And that's exactly how this stuff works. Real transformation, a little at a time. And there are so many stories like that. Stroke survivors who use repetition and positive focus to regain lost skills. People who have unlearned phobias by practicing new thoughts and actions over and over. If you're listening and you feel stuck, this is the hope. Your thoughts are not just happening to you, they're shaping you. Day by day, you can build something different, even if it starts with just one hopeful phrase.
Right. And I love how we don't have to get it perfect. I still have plenty of cranky days. It really is all about noticing and returning and making that choice again. Every time you do, it's like, hey brain, let's make a new path.
That leads us straight into what we can do right now to help our brains along. Let's get practical. All the science is great, but I know sometimes it helps to have real world tools. For starters, gratitude journaling, just jotting down 2 or 3 things you appreciate every day, is huge. I think we mentioned this in our appreciation episode. I know for me, when I take 5 minutes in the morning, write about what I'm looking forward to or what went well yesterday, my whole mindset slowly shifts. That repeated action builds a new habit, a new pathway.
Yes, and mindful meditation, even 5 minutes at a time, helps so much. There are studies showing how people who just focus on their breath or a positive mantra every day literally strengthen the parts of the brain responsible for calm and focus. But also, it's not just sitting on a cushion and chanting you know? Sometimes it's crocheting for me, or making Chloe her 3rd bowl of cereal. It's all about coming back on purpose.
I can relate. That's me out on a trail or even in the middle of a busy workday, just tuning into my senses. And I'll say, what really matters with all of this is consistency. It's not about the big fireworks moments, but the small steps every day, even when it feels boring or hard. The brain changes with repetition, not grand gestures.
Yes, I love that you said that. Sometimes I think I should be totally transformed after one journaling session, like boom, new woman. But that's not how it works. It's tiny, kind nudges over time. And hey, maybe listeners want to join us in trying a little experiment. Pick one thing, anything. Maybe it's a few minutes of mindful breathing. Maybe it's writing down 3 silly things that made you smile, or even picking up a new hobby. Yes, Kyle, you should try crocheting with me sometime.
Maybe, but only if you join me for a muddy hike sometime, deal?
Deal. And we'd love to hear what new habits everyone tries, or how you notice your thoughts and routines changing. Remember, it's all progress. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to show up.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for spending time with us today and for being willing to explore this idea that your brain and your life can change no matter where you're starting. Neuroplasticity is real, and the smallest steps matter.
We're back every couple of weeks with more cozy, curious, sometimes awkward conversations. If you like this episode, let us know and maybe invite your brain along for the next one. Kyle, as always, thanks for sharing both the science and the stories.
Thank you, Kelsey. Always a pleasure. See you next time, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Take care of your beautiful mind.
Thanks for listening to the Pleasant Spirit Podcast. To learn more, visit pleasantspirit.com and don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want to reach out, you can email us at podcast@pleasantspirit.com. If you are in the Portland, Oregon area, you can schedule a massage at pleasanttouchmassage.com. Until next time, be well.